21 years ago, the F40 was a two-fingered salute to all those who said that Ferrari no longer built the most exciting, fastest cars in the world. It was a car unlike any other that had ever been built by anybody. A stripped-out road racer, the first car with a documented top speed of above 200 miles an hour. Ferrari has always maintained that it is the 599 GTB that is the true successor to the F40. But I don't think they're fooling anybody. Does it have a mid-mounted V8 engine? Does it have a stripped-out interior? Does it have a noise that will still be ringing in your ears 3 days later? It does not. The F40 does, and so does the Scuderia. When people ask me what the greatest thing I've ever driven is, the word F40 just falls out of my mouth. It's never Bugatti or Koenigsegg or Zonda, it's not even McLaren, it's just F40. This is why I did not sleep last night. Home again! If you think about the F40 relative to the Scuderia and what it was achieving over 20 years ago, the numbers are quite astonishing. The F40 hit 60 in 3.8 seconds, 107.8 seconds, top speed over 200. Now, if you look at the numbers for the Scuderia, you'll see that it's 3.4 to 60, 7.4 to 100, and you think, okay, the Scud's faster. But in fact, the Scud only does that because it has super sticky tyres, it has almost seamless gear shifting, and it's got launch control. Here, you've got your right foot, that's it. In fact, and in reality, it is the F40 that in a straight line at least, is a much quicker car. And why is that? Well, it's very simple. The F40 has 478 horsepower, the Scuderia has 503, but while the Scuderia weighs 1,400 kilos, this F40 weighs just 1,100 kilos, which happens to be exactly the same weight as the lightest, most basic Ford Fiesta you can buy today. That 300 kilos is everything. It also has over 400 pound-feet of torque, which is why when those two little turbos kick in, you need to have your wits about you. Back in the late 1980s, when the F40 exploded onto the world, it was a car that was built like no other car had been built. The engine was a race car engine. It was actually built by Ferrari, but for Lancia, for one of their Group C cars. And for the first time in any road car, its construction actually made extensive uses of materials like Kevlar and carbon fibre. I mean, carbon fibre, that only started being used in Formula 1 4 years before this car went on sale. But don't let any of that lead you to the impression that this Scuderia is some kind of poor relation. It is anything but. Firstly, you have to bear in mind that the true successors to the F40 is not the Scuderia at all. It's cars like the F50 and the Enzo, the very limited numbers, very highly specialised road race cars. The Scuderia is a standard production model taking part in the normal Ferrari product lineup. And given this, you may actually feel that the more remarkable fact is that the Scuderia can keep up with the F40 at all. Because it weighs a bit more, because it has power steering, because it has airbags, because it has all this stuff on it, which the law and customers require a car like this to have, it simply cannot feel as pure an experience as an F40. And that's not Ferrari's fault, it's just the way the world is these days, and it is us who has made it that way. You don't need me to tell you which one of these two I would take home. But in fact, you can't really judge the Scuderia by F40 standards. The two were built in different times and for different reasons. And if you exclude the Exotica like the F40, the F50 and the Enzo, and concentrate just on Ferrari's normal production cars, the Scuderia deserves its place on anyone's top 5 Ferrari road cars of all time. Now, given that the 599 GTB would be on that list as well, in my view at least, it just shows you just how on top of their game Ferrari is at the moment. But for me, it is, and I suspect it always will be, the F40. And if you'll forgive me, I will just go and have one last blast.